Welcome back to Color Class. I'm Sarah.
I'm Lucinda.
And today, have you ever felt like you just don't belong in the winter palette? Is there something not quite right?
Do you know how many times? I mean, it's like every other question. The other question being, I don't really fit in my spring palette. So, yeah. But this video that we're about to do, hit the subscribe button because you're going to want to hear both. But this video we're about to do, it will be the definitive answer on why you're a winter, but you've never really felt like you belonged in winter exactly where you needed to be.
Something feels a little soft.
Look at what I see. What you did that.
There's a hint.
I see
a
what
hint
you
in
did
there
there
to what's coming
Yes.
up, because today we're talking about the soft winter palette.
And you may be saying to yourself, "Oh, I've never heard of a soft winter palette." Sarah, why would that be?
Well, that's because it comes out of the 16 palette. So we have been working in the 4, the 6, the 12, and we're moving on to the 16 to really dive into each of the added 4 subgroups within the 16 palette, which means soft winter is one of them. So we are going for it today.
And the thing is, and if I can just give you some background, originally there were the 4 seasons, and basically the premise was, this is so novel, this is so cool. I mean, the original book on this subject sold 15 million copies. That's a lot for a trade publication, and people really were wanting to know what colors they needed to be in, and that was great. It was wonderful. But then as more and more people got more deeply interested, we all in the color world realized that the people in this world are too diverse to fit into 4 buckets. And then we started working with the 6 dominant characteristics, and that helped us get to the 12 palette system. But what we did was we thought, there are not very many of these soft winter people. Do they need a whole subgroup? Because they're rare. Well,
There's a lot of soft winters out there.
they are not rare. So we'll start with characteristics because that's kind of where we always start. And you will have a soft appearance. But as a winter, you will be cool and deep. And this is the conundrum that people find themselves in, because they're cool and they're deep and yet they're soft. They're not high contrasty. They're not super deep. They're not cool, all cool. So you will have a delicate kind of low contrast appearance. Your coloring will be somewhat muted, but you'll have a cool undertone like most winters, and you'll be deep on the deeper side like most winters.
So your colors kind of follow suit. They're going to be softer, they're going to be cooler,
Yes.
and they're going to be deeper, right? Is that the order you just went in?
Yeah, I'll flip it around, whatever. I do that.
We should do it in the 6 dominant characteristics.
Yes, ma'am.
Because it would be, if we have our 6 dominant characteristics, it would be deep,
cool, and
soft.
soft. And that's where it kind of goes far field. If you've got that chart in your mind that we use so often, it's like you're over here, and then whoop, you get slipped over to soft. The thing is, and Sarah and I are both soft as well. When you are a hodgepodge, I'm going to use that term. It's a scientific term. You're a hodgepodge of characteristics. Like Sarah she got red hair, she's got cool skin, and she's got neutral, kind of a teal hazel eye. So she's a hodgepodge.
Well, I was going to say I'm very warm today. I warmed up. I used some warmer foundation today, so I'm looking warm.
Good. Okay. Good. And I told her before we started filming that sweater is to die for.
Thank you.
So, I mean, in her palette, perfection,
It's
absolutely great.
I don't know. It kind of has a softness to it. The lighting is probably going to make it look a little bit warmer, but it's like a dustier green color.
It is just lovely. Now, for all of you soft winters out there, apologies, I went off topic. But basically, you are a hodgepodge. So you might not be cool-eyed, cool-haired, cool skin tone. What you will have is deep, cool hair, pretty much. And then things might kind of go afield. Overall, you might have some neutrality to you, and neutrality is the key. Neutrality equals soft.
And I would say we use Dakota Johnson a lot, and she has that hair that's cool, but if the sun hits it, there's a little bit of warmth in there.
So it kind of, there's some
Right.
a little bit of neutrality. Katie Holm, another one. If you look at her, now, I think she's been tinting her hair to a deeper black. Before she did that, she was a classic example. I hope we have some photos. Maybe we do. A classic example of a soft winter because her eyes were soft. Her hair was soft. Her skin tone was soft. And it was just soft.
Remember, these people don't have like the icy blue eyes. They have like the soft charcoaly blue eyes. And their hair is more of like a charcoaly black instead of a jet black.
They do. Or a gray amber.
Yes. Like anything just softer. They're just dusted over eyes.
Yes. And or they could be pure amber. If you've got black hair, dark brown hair, no red or gold highlights to speak of, and you're kind of on that side of the fence and you have amber eyes, you might be a soft winter.
So we've kind of hinted at the best colors to wear for a soft winter. Like we said before, you're looking for soft, you're looking for deep, and you're looking for cool colors. But what does that mean?
You mixed up the 6 dominant characteristics.
Oh my goodness. Deep,
Girl.
cool, and soft.
Gotcha.
Rewind. There we go.
Now, what happens when you're a soft winter is that the other palettes will look like this. The cool winter, if you're looking at that palette, it will look a little cooler. The deep winter, if you're looking at that palette, it will look a little deeper. And the, what was my other one? Cool, deep, and clear.
A 6 dominant characteristic.
Yes. It will look brighter, more intense. So you've got these 3 palettes sitting side by side, and you can identify them sitting side by side. Like this one's deeper, this one's cooler, and this one's more intense. Well, what's the opposite of more intense? Softer. So on the opposite end, if you're looking at all 4 of these, this palette will have all these same colors, but they will be muted. They will be just a little bit softer.
What do we say? Add a little gray?
Kind of.
Sprinkle a little gray on
Sprinkle a
top?
little gray. Now, gray is not always the mixer to mute a
Right.
color. I want to be clear about that. We may have created some confusion before.
We also mentioned complementary colors.
We did. And you can mix a color and mute it by mixing another color, just a random color.
Right.
That gets very complicated. But the point is, if you took the whole palette, mixed in a little gray into the whole palette, and I'm talking about just a hint, you would have a soft winter palette. So when you're out shopping, if you see something and you're like, well, this is in the winter palette, or inevitably you've had your colors done and somebody told you were winter, and you have that whatever, the wallet or the fan, but they're just not right. You can look at it and say, I need something softer than this. This is kind of good, but can I find something softer?
Not perfect.
Exactly. Just so we carried this thread on through, the colors to avoid are brights.
The opposites.
Yeah. Deeps.
No, we like deeps.
Well, they can, no, I'm talking about the deep winter palette. So
okay.
let's go back. We've got those 4 palettes. They're sitting side by side. I don't want to cause any confusion.
Yes.
Well, because I always cause confusion. It's because I'm like scattered all over the place. I'm an artist. What do you expect? So you're looking at the 4 winter palettes. Cool winter, deep winter, clear winter, and soft winter. What you want to avoid are really intense colors, obviously.
They're going to stand out before you.
What you want to avoid also are bright, warm, sunshiny colors.
Yes, the
because
complete opposite.
they'll just turn you gray.
Yes.
And
sallow. Don't forget sallow.
Yes, they will turn. Your coolness, far from being an asset at that point, will become a liability. Just saying. And you want to think, like, for example, winters are told you can wear black and you can wear white. No problem. The only season that can wear black and white. But you know what? A soft winter needs slightly off-white. Mm-hmm. And you need a slightly off-black because you are not clear and vibrant. I was going to say you're not pure. You may be pure. I don't know. But you just need to dust it up a little bit. Now, as a color analyst, we've given you another tool to work with. We've given you another division of the winter palette that if somebody isn't a deep, if they're not a cool, if they're not a clear, you know where to look. And sometimes the soft category is simply that. If you are not these other things in the winter palette, then you're a soft winter.
I also feel like a lot of the soft summers, when people are working in the 12 palette system and they're a soft winter, a lot of times
throw them in soft sun.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
No.
You'll be put and categorized in the soft summer palette,
Yes.
but you have a little bit more depth to you that can pick up the deeper colors. So if you are somebody who is designated as a soft summer in the 12 palette system, look, if you have depth to you, like when you wear the medium to lighter tones, is there enough depth? If there's not enough depth, then look into the soft winter.
Easy peasy. If your hair is medium to deep,
Right.
and somebody told you you were a soft summer, you are a winter by virtue of the fact that you've got the deep hair and you're just soft. And people aren't used to winter having a soft component, which you do.
So if you're a winter and you just felt like it was not fitting in for you, if the colors were too contrasty, too high contrast, or if they had just too much punch to them, if they were too cool, you might need to look into the soft winter. And I feel like it was just left out, but it has gained so much popularity recently because we have been doing color analysis and we are getting so many soft winters. I feel like we get hit with the people that have a lot of neutrality to them because they don't really fit in with other seasons. And the way that we do our palette is we walk you through each of the palettes to determine what palette fits you best. So shameless plug for our color analysis.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Because at the end of our process, you have a book of color that is like nobody else's. It's
Right.
not a case where we say, okay, well, you're in this bucket here. Let's pull a color palette off the shelf. No color palette is like any other palette because none of you are like any other of you. Well, except for twins. We do have some twins. Hi, Diana, Athena. We have some twins. But bottom line, you're unique. So we have to deal with you as a unique creature. And that's so important. Absolutely important. And the thing about it is when you soft winters find your palette, you will be lit up. It is unbelievable because in many cases, if you followed color analysis and you've believed that you're a winter and it just, you just weren't quite right, but you were wearing the winter colors. And when you wear your soft winter colors, you will not believe the difference.
Now, we also are available on Patreon. I'm going to throw that in there.
Oh, yeah.
We'll probably do some type of digital download for you soft winters, completely free for our paid members on Patreon. So go over there, download it, have it with you at all times. And also, we were talking about color analysis. Our Patreon members do get first open slots of our color analysis process.
We still have that waiting list, that pesky waiting list.
Yes, hop on over to Patreon, all right? All the good stuff. We're having fun over there and cannot thank you guys enough. Now, what else do we talk about? We talk about liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing. We are hitting some really awesome milestones here on YouTube and cannot believe it. We are so excited. So thank you to everyone who has subscribed. And don't forget, we see who isn't subscribed too, by the way.
That's Sarah.
We see you guys. And then what else?
Don't listen to her.
Oh, I'm tracking.
We know that you will subscribe because you love us.
We also are available on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and everywhere else you can imagine. I mean, I think we covered pretty much all social media platforms.
Wait for it. We cover the whole spectrum.
Man, that could be our catchphrase.
I just thought of that.
I kind of like it as our catchphrase.
Well,
all right. So thank you for joining.
Good for something, right?
Yeah. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Sarah.
I'm Lucinda.
This has been another color class, and we'll see you in our next video.